We've tested 21 different mattresses from Helix. On screen now is our complete list of all mattresses tested with their associated scores. First up, let's talk about performance. All mattresses we test are put through our battery of 10 objective and data-driven tests. These tests help us objectively compare and analyze performance differences between mattresses. In our performance test, Helix mattresses have an average performance score of 9.05, which is significantly higher than the overall average. They offer a wide range of firmnesses and varying price points from $1,000 to $3,000, making Helix an attractive brand for many sleepers. When we compare the average of each pricing tier, we see a noticeable jump in score from the base to the Luxe models, but only a small increase in performance from the Luxe to the Elite. Also, keep in mind that Helix Midnight Luxe is the highest individually scoring Helix mattress we've tested to date out of the entire Helix lineup. And next, we're going to do a deep dive comparison on the Helix Midnight versus Midnight Luxe versus Midnight Elite. Starting with cooling, all three Helix Midnight tiers scored above average, but the Luxe and Elite models performed noticeably better than the core. The biggest difference between these models is the upgraded cooling cover, which comes standard on any Helix Elite mattress, but is an additional fee for the Luxe tier and below. Notably, we did have the upgraded cooling cover on our Midnight Luxe tests. This upgraded GlacierTex cover contains phase change material, which adds a cool to the touch feel, and our tests provide solid evidence that it has a real impact on overall cooling performance. Any Helix can add this cover for an additional $199, though it does come standard on all Elite models. Next, let's talk about sinkage. All versions of the Helix Midnight have moderate to deep sinkage. This sinkage dynamic meets the needs of all sleep positions and most sleepers. The Midnight series was designed to create a balanced feel that is appropriate to the needs of the vast majority of sleepers. Considering motion transfer, the Luxe and Elite tiers prove their worth once again. The base Midnight model performed just slightly better than average, while the Midnight Luxe and Midnight Elite demonstrated exceptionally low levels of motion transfer in our tests. Moving on, let's talk about material recovery speed. All three tiers are a little slower than average. Among these three models tested, the average score was 7.8, but the Midnight Luxe stands out as the obvious frontrunner in this category. While all three models use memory foam, the specific combination of material in the Luxe strikes the best balance between comfort and recovery speed. Let's talk about mattress bounce next. Concerning bounce, the Helix Midnights have either low or moderate bounce with an average bounce level of 7.27 inches. For reference, the average among all mattresses tested is 8.78 inches of bounce. The additional foam layers seen on the Luxe and Elite tiers tend to decrease bounce. However, the Elite somewhat offsets its added foam with a layer of micro coils near the top, which keep it more on par with the Luxe bounce level. Suffice to say, Helix mattresses are not incredibly bouncy relative to all brands we've tested, but the core line will indeed have the most bounce. Moving on to edge support. All Helix mattress tiers have fantastic edge support. Once again, we see a trend where the Luxe demonstrates an upgrade over the base model, but the Elite slightly falls below due to its added comfort material. The Helix Luxe and Elite models are equipped with 2 rows of reinforced coils that strengthen the support around the perimeter of the mattress. These strike a fantastic balance with the top layers to minimize sitting edge compression and maximize lying edge support. Looking at sex performance, the Midnight mattresses average a sex score of 7.9, with the Helix Midnight being the only one of the three to earn an above average score. While they all have fantastic scores in 4 out of the 5 categories used in our sex formula, the low bounce on the Luxe and Elite models hinders their sex performance. Moving on with pressure relief, this is where the Helix models really shine. The base Midnight earned an excellent 9 out of 10 score, while the Luxe and Elite models earned perfect 10 out of 10s for pressure relief. The comfort layer thickness and memory foam densities are increased with each tier. Across the range of Helix Core, Luxe, and Elite models, we see mattresses with thicker comfort layers in the higher pricing tiers, and also better quality, more denser foams in those higher priced mattress tiers. The Elite in particular has an astounding 7 inches of comfort material and uses a memory foam that has a PCF density of 7 pounds per square foot. All that to say, these are extremely comfortable mattresses with little to no risk of pressure point buildup. Looking at off-gassing, Helix models are fairly average in terms of the initial smell intensity and overall smell duration. Most mattresses, including the Midnight and Midnight Elite, have a strong smell right out of the box, but we found the Luxe to have a more moderate intensity. Furthermore, the Elite took fewer days to complete off-gassing, where the average duration is 7 days. Next up, let's go over the company policies that apply to all Helix mattresses. Helix earns an above average company score of 9.4 out of 10 with its 100-night trial period, lifetime warranty, free shipping, and free returns. There are currently no differences between each Helix tier and the above policies. The only minor difference with the Elite model is that it ships in 2 separate boxes and requires you to assemble the comfort layer within the cover itself. Next up, let's talk about the firmness options. Our firmness scale is a 1 to 10, where 10 is the most firm. Helix designed each of their 7 models with a particular firmness and feel in mind. To that end, they have options from soft with a 4 out of 10 rating, all the way up to firm with an 8 out of 10, where 10 is the most firm. The specific models, like the Midnight, Dusk, and Sunset, are all meant to have a consistent firmness across the price tiers. However, there are some cases where our experience disagree with the Helix website. For example, the Helix Moonlight Luxe felt significantly firmer to us than it was advertised. All that said, with such a wide range of options, sleepers have a good chance of finding their preferred feel that also fits their budget. Speaking of budget, let's discuss price. The base or core Helix mattress tier costs $9.99 for a queen, Luxe models cost $17.99, and Elite models cost $29.99. For reference, the average mattress price is $14.84 based on the 400+ tests that we've completed to date. At the end here, we have the big question: who should buy what mattress? Between their range of firmness options and pricing tiers, the Helix should have a mattress that fits most sleeper preferences. Based on our review scores from our tests, the Luxe tier represents the best value, as it has a better performance than most standard models, while still being priced significantly lower than the Elite series. That isn't to say that the Elite line isn't worth it. If it's within your budget, these Elite models still have exceptional performance scores and add a noticeable luxury feel. So my recommendation is to find the firmness level that you're looking for and then choose the best Luxe model with that rating. For most sleepers, that's going to be the Midnight Luxe with its medium firm feel. This is also the 4th highest scoring mattress that we've tested to date. Among the soft choices, go for the Sunset Luxe. For a slightly firmer feel, go with the Dusk Luxe. And for an even firmer feel, go with the Twilight Luxe. If you can't afford the Luxe tier, the core Twilight, Dusk, Midnight, and Moonlight models are all fantastic for that price. Finally, for sleepers close or over to 300 pounds, they make the Helix Plus line, whose Luxe and Elite models also scored extremely well in our tests. And remember, if you want the best cooling, the upgradable Glacier Tex cover made a difference in our tests. For most sleepers, I think it's well worth the cost to add that. So that's our Helix breakdown. The absolute best Helix mattress we've reviewed so far is the Midnight Luxe. Click here to check out that full video review now.